Drake Maye yesterday in Foxborough talking about Joe Milton getting traded.
I love you both. You know that.
He is now a member of the Cowboys, where he is going to be happy. He loves the Cowboys. His mom loves the Cowboys. It's going to be great down there.
Good luck being a backup.
And Drake Maye is happy for his former teammate to get a chance to go be a backup.
That's nice, huh?
Wow.
But he's right.
Right. Thank you.
Dak Prescott is the starter. He's making $65 million. I went nuts yesterday when people say, whoa, he's kind of taking a shot at No. You're a 6th-round pick or whatever round pick. You're 26 years old.
Yeah.
You didn't play much. You played well in the final game against third-teamers. Yeah, you're going to go get a chance to be a backup.
Tells me a few things that he said this. Number one, he is starting quarterback material. Not that we didn't know that already, but from a mentality standpoint, he is that guy.
Oh, yeah.
He is asserting his dominance. He is, as Trenny put it last night on TV, he marked his territory.
Peeing on trees.
With that, exactly. That's what he did. And that is what you want from your starting quarterback, by the way. You do want this. Let's just recognize it here in the moment for what it is. It also tells me one other thing. He was not at all bothered by Joe Milton and would not have been bothered by Joe Milton if they didn't trade him.
You only mark your territory when there's a threat. So he didn't even mark his territory. Joe Milton was not a threat to Drake Maye.
Agree.
Not a threat to him. And so, yes, he's a 6th-round pick. Yes, he has an opportunity to promote to a backup because he was not the backup quarterback for the Patriots last year.
Right.
Backup quarterback was Jacoby Brissett. So it was Drake Maye 1, Jacoby 2, Joe Milton 3. I appreciate Joe Milton's confidence, and I appreciate how entertaining he can be. If you have a skills competition, like if they had like globetrotters for football players, he'd be great. He'd be a football globetrotter. Just can throw the ball a million miles. It does the great backflips. Just a fun personality.
Oh, I hate him.
He is not. I don't even think he's going to be the backup quarterback for the Cowboys. I don't think he's going to be their backup. I think he's going to be their third quarterback. The reason.
Who's the backup, Lance?
No, they cut him.
Oh, God.
The reason. You know why the Cowboys really wanted Joe Milton? It's because Jerry Jones is cheap. So the Cowboys
It's another Zoe guy that's on the roster. The 3 quarterbacks are Dak, Joe Milton, Will Grier.
Will Grier is going to be the backup. The reason Jerry wanted Joe Milton is because Jerry's cheap, and you paid Dak Prescott is making like $60 million a year, something ridiculous.
65, I think.
And you can't have that much money tied up in the position. So they looked at him, 6th-round pick, not making that much money. He's a developmental project. You might have something with him. I'm guessing you probably don't. Because if you watch if you're a college football fan, you're not Joe Milton is not unfamiliar to you. Start off in Michigan,
right?
Wound up at Tennessee, same stuff. Big arm, fun, but the nuances of the position escape him. I don't think he'll ever be a starting quarterback in the NFL. I don't
either. But I think he could be their backup, and I think he probably will be their backup.
I don't even think he's going to be their backup.
I think he's better than Will Grier. I think his ceiling is much higher than Will Grier.
His ceiling is higher. I agree.
Yeah.
Ceiling's higher, but he's not better than Will Grier right now.
Why do you think he's not
Will
here?
Grier stinks. Are you forgetting that?
Joe Milton does too.
Yeah, but at least Joe Milton has that tape against the third stringers in Buffalo.
Hey,
right? Like, does Will Grier have a great preseason tape anywhere? I don't know that he does.
Hey, Beetle. Joe Milton's not boring.
Joe Milton is definitely not boring.
He's not boring.
I don't think he's very good.
Will Grier's probably boring.
I don't think Joe Milton will ever be a starter in the league.
Yeah. So that's what it is. His intrigue is.
I also don't believe that Joe Milton was ever going to be a threat to the New England Patriots' current quarterback.
Say you guys are the quarterbacks. You're talking about how sexy Milton is here. This is the problem. You don't want to sit here if you're the starter, you're the backup. He's the third guy. Everybody's talking about the third guy. He's fun. Backflips. He's built. He can throw a ball through the wall. He's a problem.
But so can the starter.
No, but like
starter's sexy too. Hey,
yeah,
Drake.
No, of course he is.
Drake's got his sexy on. He's sexy.
But I'm just trying to explain the dynamic of a quarterback room. Like I do think there's structured pecking order. I think it's a reason a guy like Shador dropped. I think it's a reason a guy like Tim Tebow. You're not going to be on a team if you're the third guy.
Yeah,
cameras are going to follow you.
I think
it's just
I think it came down to Vrabel more than Drake Maye. Drake Maye uncomfortable with Milton. He may have been. I doubt it. But let's say he is. Let's say he didn't like how confrontational or how competitive Joe Milton was. I'm just making this up. It doesn't matter if Mike Vrabel looks at it and says, "Okay, I like this guy. I like this guy. I like the competition. I'm trying to create competition at every position, including quarterback. I'm going to keep him." If he felt that way, he would have kept him. But he didn't feel that way.
Yeah.
And that's why he's gone. I don't think it has anything to do with Drake Maye. Even if Drake Maye wanted him gone and Vrabel wanted him to stay, he'd be here. It's all about the head coach and what he wants. And the head coach is clearly, see it, Zoe.
He's whacking captains left and right.
He's going down the list.
Yeah.
He's going down the list.
Out.
I think Vrabel had a couple of insiders in the 2024 Patriots front office, locker room ownership. He had some insiders kind of giving him the lay of the land, and he had a working document of, okay, when I get there, I'm going to make some changes. And I'll just add this. I don't think it's a coincidence. You tell me, Beetle. I don't think it's a coincidence that Robin Glazer, after 18 years, decides that she wants to do something else.
Oh, now you're speaking to me, Michael Hawley.
Okay.
You're bringing up the Hammers
All
name
right.
around
You're
these
sitting on
parts.
something. That's a tidbit.
Okay.
Nobody else put that together.
Top.
What do you mean?
Top.
Of course we put that together.
You know what I mean?
Top to bottom, there's a list. And he's checking them off.
There definitely is no question about his ability or where he stands and what he will be, and Joe Milton will never be a threat. And if those things are all true, then why does it matter that they needed to trade him? Why? If his status was not actually being threatened, well, then what's the need for the trade?
They didn't like him.
And that's the second part, which is what Greg Bedard gets to, which is, I think, that's reporting. He's telling you what someone in the organization told him, calling him not a good dude. I know a lot of people will say, oh, it's Greg Bedard saying he's not a good guy. No, Greg Bedard saying someone told me their thought on him was he's not a good guy, which I think is just in a football sense, by the way. I know when you hear those words, you start thinking like, wow, that feels like a little bit of a character assassination there. But I'm assuming that conversation was in the context of as a football player and for the quarterback room and within the group of players that reside there.
He doesn't like his role.
See, and I think, and this is why I keep going back to Vrabel and, the list that he has. And just imagine, it's your second time being a head coach. And you saw how things played out in Tennessee, and there were some things that were out of his control that I'm sure if he looks back and says, man, if I could have just had a little bit more personnel power, A.J. Brown would never have gone. We never would have brought in Treylon Burks for freaking A.J. Brown, which is a ridiculous trade.
That didn't work out.
Right. Or I never would have allowed a general manager to do this to me after John Robinson left and Rand Carthon, Mo Carthon's son, came in and was the GM and had control. And so second time around, I'm not letting this stuff happen. I think he heard about any players who were either not good teammates, delusional, whatever it is. He said, I'm not doing it. And so all of them, I'm not saying, I don't know Joe Milton, so I'm not saying that he's a bad guy.
Right.
I think Vrabel looked at, here's a better way of saying it, a bad fit. There are a couple of guys on the roster who are bad fits for what the head coach wants to establish, and so he got them out. So I think it has more to do with what Vrabel wanted than what Drake Maye wanted.
I agree with that. I think that's true. And I also think that they're pissed off about people being critical of them getting rid of what they perceive to be a third-string quarterback. Because people did question it. Even the people who don't even like Joe Milton. I don't think Joe Milton's any good. And I'm like, what's the point of this? Why dump him? There could be more value there down the road. He might develop. He might become something that's a solid backup in the league that you can have on the cheap for the next 3 years. Why the rush? Why the rush to move on 1 year after drafting him? Elliott,
well,
the guy who drafted him,
and
who's
that's
still
the other
here.
Thing. Hey, where Vrabel got rid of some people, Like they actually were, hey, you have 45 minutes to vacate the premises. Your email no longer has been disabled, no longer works. So some people he got rid of Elliot Wolf's work. He pretty much overrode Elliot Wolf's work. So
It's not done yet, by the way.
Elliot is still here,
Yeah.
but his work is being eliminated. Because all that, think about
Funny
it.
how that works, but his position hasn't been eliminated yet.
His position hasn't been eliminated, but all the people, all the free agents they signed, are those Vrabel signings or those Elliot Wolf signings?
Those are all Vrabel. The draft picks are Vrabel. The free agent signings are Vrabel.
Right.
All the way.
So last year, Elliot Wolf drafted receivers in the 2nd and 4th rounds. They went out. They signed a couple of receivers in free agency, Stephon Diggs, Mac Hollins. They drafted a receiver in the 3rd round. They drafted a running back in the 2nd round. They are like across the board, everything that he tried to establish. Hey, I gotta have a developmental quarterback. Get him out of here. I don't want your developmental quarterback.
Nope, structure.
Javon Baker would be lucky if he makes the team. Kayshon Boutte has been mentioned as a trade possibility. Everything that he said, hey, we're good. Remember that interview he did, Elliot, last year?
Yeah.
Hey, what do you mean? People are saying we're not really a viable, we're not a pro team. Hey, we signed, we got Micah Winu, we did all this stuff, we got all these good players.
Signed your own players.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, too. Like
Vrabel doesn't agree with that.
So people are going to look at Elliott, look at the draft. Like, okay, so it's Drake Maye, and then it was Joe Milton, and we're going to see what happens with Layden Robinson and
Caden Wallace.
Yeah, Caden Wallace. It's the second contract guys that they signed a year ago. That's where you're going to start looking at and see if those guys start getting picked off. He's already eliminated the captains. See what happens with Duggar.
What's that about?
You know?
What's that about captains? Why do you think he's...
Because they tolerated, they were the leadership of a 4-win football team. See, that's the way coaches think. Now, I don't agree with it. I think David Andrews is a fantastic leader. And some of those other guys, too. But David, salt of the earth. Whacked him quickly. And he was hurt. He wanted to come back, and he was excited to come back. But that's Mike's decision, and he moved on. Drafted a guy and brought one in free agency. Centers.
But, okay, now if that's the case, then I don't agree with it. You tell me, Beetle. I mean, if you're the leadership of a 4-win football team, well, by that logic...
But Hunter Henry's still here.
But when Bill Parcells took over the Patriots, he didn't get rid of everybody. When Bill Belichick took over a 5-win Patriots team, 5 wins. So you know who the leadership was on that team?
Some of them were not.
Willie McGinnis, Troy Brown.
Yeah.
I mean, Ted Johnson. Those guys became fundamental. They became the core, Teddy Bruschi, of a championship team.
Okay, the guys who are healthy that are no longer here. Dietrich Wise and
Jonathan Jones.
Jacoby Brissett, right? I think those guys, Jonathan Jones wasn't a captain.
He wasn't?
No.
Not.
No.
I was shocked by that.
No, I'm surprised.
I just assumed he
me too.
But I would say
learned that at the Super Bowl.
Dietrich Wise, Joe Cardona, Jacoby Brissett. 3 captains, the ones that were healthy. 2 of them, the team showed no interest in bringing back, which I think is the right call. And another one they just released the other day. You know which bucket I would put those guys into? You were captains and you weren't good leaders. So you're gone. And then there's the other guys like David Andrews and Jawan Bentley. You're older. You've been here a long time. We just don't have space for guys who are going to sit around and tell us the way things should be or the way things used to be. We're going to get younger. And we don't need your war stories. So you guys, you're out. And it is turning over the roster, but not just doing it at the fringes and doing it to send a message and create an environment that is, hey, we're all starting here. We're all on the same level. And this is new. And this is different. And it's not a continuation of last year. It's not a continuation of 2 or 3 years ago. It is not at all connected to the Patriots winning with Tom Brady. This is a brand new thing we're doing. And so I do like it for that reason. And I think that's what they're trying to do.
Don't tell me about the good old days.
Exactly.
No more.
We're going to make new good days, not old.
No more pictures on the wall. No more do your job and other. I guess do your job probably left with Bill, didn't it? Or was it?
I think it may have.
Mayo still was.
Well, the trademark belongs to the Patriots, as we found in recent days. Jordan Hudson has filed for Bill's version of "Do Your Job."
Do your job.
Yeah.
Belichick's version.
Yeah, Belichick's version.
Belichick version. Okay. Like kind of like Taylor Swift.
Yeah, that's what they're going.
Pictures are off the wall.
Can't wait to see the merch.